So yesterday was a big day for Star Wars, Disney, Lucasfilm, the fans, and the entire franchise, as just yesterday, on November 19th, marked the very first day of the marketing coming into full swing for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect of Episode 9 that a lot of fans are very concerned about is, of course, exactly how Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, Lucasfilm, and everybody else involved with this film is really going to handle the Star Wars franchise at its end, and exactly how it's all going to really bring the Skywalker saga to a close that started back in 1977. Now, of course, we do know that George Lucas was heavily involved with this movie ever since he came on board in late 2018, directing and writing many scenes with, of course, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio in order to help out the film's plot and to really bring things in the right direction. That was, of course, all until many of the scenes were deleted and changed and adjusted in, of course, the months of August, September, and October. Now, with that being said, it's actually explained that during the reshoots of the film, during the months of August, September, and October of this year, is when Disney and Lucasfilm went through many changes and adjustments to the film's second and third acts of the movie, where Kathleen Kennedy wanted a different tone for the film. It's explained that during the reshoots, many scenes were either cut and/or deleted from the initial cut of the film that drastically changed how the film's structure was before the massive shift. It's explained that one of the major scenes that were deleted from the film that George Lucas created was said to be a special scene for the character of Luke Skywalker in the third act of the movie, where it's explained that the major scene that was cut from the film would involve Luke Skywalker inside of the netherworld of the Force, providing a valuable lesson to both Rey and Kylo Ren about Palpatine. It's explained that this scene was all directed and written by George Lucas, and would explore new secrets about Palpatine and of the Beyond, while Luke's Force Ghost in the netherworld of the Force would teach Ben and Rey new revelations related to Darth Sidious that were cut from the movie. It's explained that this was a part of the initial cut of the film before Disney and Lucasfilm wanted to cut the segment out, that the scene would actually involve a connection to another sequence within Palpatine's throne room, where the new chosen one in the film was originally going to be Luke Skywalker as a Force Ghost, bringing an end to the Sith once and for all. It said that George had the idea of Luke becoming the chosen one after Anakin, even after death, and destroying Palpatine, and that this was actually a major part of the film before it was deleted and changed to Rey becoming the chosen one. It said that this was Lucasfilm's new vision during the reshoots to change from Luke Skywalker being the chosen one by George Lucas to them making Rey the chosen one in the upcoming film. Additionally, another major scene that was cut from the 30% of the George Lucas scenes that were cut from the movie was also said to involve a scene filmed in Kylo Ren's throne room, where he would actually see another vision of Han Solo, where Kylo and Han would hug, where Ben would actually show his regrets in secret, only for the Han vision to actually vanish. This was all filmed by Harrison Ford, that was also cut from the film as Disney wanted to dial down on the Han Solo scenes, and actually focus on the moment where Han redeems Kylo Ren at the end of the movie, as in the form of a vision. Lastly, it's said that one of the major aspects created by George Lucas was, of course, for Palpatine to use a lightsaber in the movie. It's described that one of the scenes George wrote with Abrams that was deleted featured Palpatine using a lightsaber once more after Disney decided to cut many scenes from the film. They decided to not use a lightsaber for Sidious and stick with only him using the Force and the Force lightning against Rey and Kylo Ren only, while inside of his throne room battle sequence. This massive shift had to do with the change in the overall storyline by Kathleen Kennedy and more. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I think that some of these are terrible decisions by Disney and Lucasfilm. Now, of course, there's always exceptions to the rule when it comes to deleting scenes. I absolutely get that when it comes to a major motion picture. However, the one trend that I find with Disney and Lucasfilm is that anything that sounds very intriguing or very much, much true to the Star Wars franchise and very exciting usually ends up on the cutting room floor. And the thing that really gets me is why in the world would Disney and Lucasfilm shift from Luke Skywalker being the chosen one to simply making Rey the chosen one to be the one who destroys the Sith once and for all. Now, I know that some of you guys out there may agree or disagree with me on that. That is perfectly fine. Everybody has their own opinions, and that's what makes us human after all. And I'm just expressing my honest opinion here, and I think it's best to actually do that. Because when you look at Luke Skywalker, he is the son of Anakin, right? A very powerful Jedi who became a Sith known as Darth Vader, who redeemed himself, saved his son, Luke Skywalker, and thought that the Sith were actually destroyed once and for all. Now, of course, the fact that Palpatine lived, pretty much alludes to the statement by Yoda, a prophecy misread could have been. And what I like about that is that, yes, it does connect to the rise of Skywalker, how Palpatine is alive. But at the same exact time, how one of the major scenes that George Lucas worked very hard on with Mark Hamill was that even in the netherworld of the Force, as a Force ghost, Luke Skywalker was originally going to be the chosen one. This was all said to be done by George Lucas before Disney and Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy stepped in and changed it to be actually Rey to become the chosen one in Episode 9. The reason as to why I really don't agree with this, and I do have reasons to back this up, the reason as to why I don't agree with Rey being the chosen one is because I feel that it should be a Skywalker himself, such as Kylo Ren, to destroy the chosen one once and for all. If you look at the trend here, right, we've seen the Skywalkers go through phases of, the dark side and going back to the good side. And everything is a redemption story related to the Skywalkers. They all go through these dark phases. Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side. Luke Skywalker devoted his life to isolating himself on Ahch-To for a long time, which isn't necessarily the same thing, I get that, but it's still a dark moment in Luke's life, where he eventually redeemed himself by, of course, Yoda's wise words at the very end of Episode 8. So the Skywalkers, at the end of the day, are really the main focus of the sequel trilogy, and of, the entire Skywalker saga. At least I feel that's how it should be. So for the Rise of Skywalker to be dubbed The Rise of Skywalker as a title, Luke should really actually have gotten that title as the chosen one, as George originally intended, before Disney and Lucasfilm changed it all up to Rey becoming the new chosen one. The other reason as to why I believe that Rey should not be the chosen one is because it just seems like that they're just doing this for the sake of doing it, not because they have reasons of backing that up. Not that she's going to be, connected to the Skywalker bloodline just because. And I feel that Kylo Ren should deserve that title, but that's just my opinion. The other thing that really disappoints me here, that I think is yet another failure on Disney and Lucasfilm's part, is how they actually made a massive shift from George Lucas and having his idea of Palpatine using a lightsaber against both Rey and Kylo Ren. And that was ultimately deleted. The current cut of the movie is said to have no lightsaber action from Palpatine at all whatsoever, and it's just Palpatine using the Force, using Force lightning, and that's it. So, the reason as to why I'm just a little upset about that, quite frankly, pretty let down about that, is if you look at Palpatine in the prequel trilogy, very fast-paced, right? It just shows you how intimidating the character can really be when he uses his new fighting styles. Now I get it, Ian McDiarmid is up there in age, they really can't do that, but that's where CGI comes into play. CGI was a massive part of the Palpatine versus Mace Windu fight. If you guys look very close, there are CGI models of Palpatine fighting Mace Windu. It's the truth. Go ahead and check it out. Even George Lucas states it. And they could have done the same exact thing here with Episode 9, without a doubt. So, no lightsaber action for Sidious in the current cut of Episode 9, but originally George Lucas, in his cut of the movie, had Palpatine using a saber against both Rey and Kylo Ren. The only reason as to why I find this to be a little awkward is that, yes, Rey and Kylo Ren will be using their lightsabers against Sidious, but will only be using them to block the Force lightning against Palpatine. And I feel that it's going to be a more slow-paced battle between Palpatine, Rey, and Kylo Ren, and nothing like what we got in Revenge of the Sith. Now, I get it, it's pretty much a remake of what we got in Return of the Jedi between Palpatine and Luke, and how Palpatine only uses the Force itself. I get that. But when you're used to seeing such action of Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, and the fact that he is now back in Episode 9, you have this one chance, this one opportunity to do things right with Sidious. So, anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them once again. No.